What is going on then, ladies and gentlemen? I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome back to another video here on our channel. I'm the FIFA Analyst. Today, we are bringing you a new video, which is going to be part of a new series here on the channel. We are going to be going on to the FUT Champs channel and taking a look at some of the best players in the world, looking at exactly what they do, what mechanics they use, what things they abuse to make sure that they can go ahead and get their wins on FIFA 21. Obviously, these guys are on a different level, so we're going to try and take as much as we possibly can to relay that information back to you guys so you may be able to introduce some of it into your own game. If you enjoy this video, please do give it a like. You can subscribe to the channel. We do upload every single day at 5 p.m. And I want you to let me know down in the comment section below who would you like me to have a look at in the next episode. Pop that down in the comment section. The one which gets the most thumbs up, I will go ahead and take a look at. We can do Xbox or we can do PlayStation. So take your pick on there. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a player that finished third in the world. I'll put the gamer tag down below in the description as well. I'm not too sure who it is, personally, from just seeing the gamer tag, so I'm not 100% sure on that one. But we're going to take a look at it. It's a thrilling game. It's two top 200 players going at it. Two very, very good players that was highlighted on the FUT Champs channel. So let's go ahead, jump into the video, and see how they get on. So then, the first example we are going to look at is to actually highlight what the attacking player does in terms of working a chance and finding that key pass to the strikers. Now, I always talk about, obviously, one of the most dangerous passes that you want to try and cover is any passes to the guys that are inside the box here, right? That's something that you want to do. Now, what most players, at the lower level, which is something that, we do coach and we see on a regular basis, they forget to do is they forget to spread the ball out wide and look to get the ball out into these winger positions. Now, the reason why, we want to do this, point number A, is if you can get the ball out wide and you have a chance to, take the fullback on and get into this area, that's a really, really good opportunity. But B, what you're doing is you're actually making the opponent have their two centre mids and constantly keep player switching, constantly keep moving them side to side. What does this do? It actually opens up the lane for you to find, your striker, your cam, anyone that's in that most dangerous position. And if you can get up against their two centre backs, you're going to be in for a really good time, because that's where you can look to use a step over, a bridge, and just take the man on. Obviously, the step over will be nerfed, I imagine, within the next day or two. So we should be having that soon. But obviously, it worked on the weekend that we just went. So that's exactly what's going to happen here. Now, the big thing to take into account is that the opponent in the white actually does give the ball away from this. Now, if you're playing against a high-level player, you have to be so protective of the ball when building out a defense. What the majority of these guys will do is when they win the ball back, like we will see here in a minute with Sanchez, he wins the ball back. He will look to get the ball out wide. Now, this year and at the minute, very odd in my opinion, something that I don't think should be so good, is that these guys will predominantly go from here to attack as quick as they possibly can, because then they can hit on the counter attack, which obviously is really strong with the through balls. One thing you can do is look to get the ball out wide to obviously to take that advantage from that, but he goes through there and he gives the ball back straight to Sanchez. Now look how the player in the red, Paris, moves the ball from side to side, making him work with a Kante, making him think that he was going to go in towards that path there. Shifts the ball back on to R9's right foot, a little step over, and now look at that passing lane that has opened up for the pass into the Ronaldo, which is what we're going to go for here. Now he's trying to get across with Kante. He knows he's in a little bit of trouble, and Kante and the Renato Sanchez, who's 2cm, shouldn't look like that, and that's exactly what he's done really well here. What they should be looking like, is Kante there and Sanchez there covering that pass into the box. So he goes for the RBA. Now he doesn't go for like a fake shot first time. He doesn't lay it up to go for the near post. He tries to get it back across there, shoot across the face of goal, and unfortunately it does just go straight to Van der Sar, and that is a very, very good save, but a really good chance that was well worked. Obviously mistake from the opponent, just unfortunate not to put that one in the back of the net. So following on from this, he has his corner, whips it in, goalkeeper comes out and claims that. This is actually something so minor, and it's something that people will do because they obviously want to put the ball, put pressure on the guy, and they want to try and win the ball back. Now, what he's thinking here is Neymar's coming back in, he's going to lay the ball off Sanchez, he's going to move the ball side to side, right? That's what a lot of people would think he's probably going to do here. So what he does with his Neymar, which, he's going to be, his forward attacking player, he presses, anticipating the next pass. We talk about how centre mids this year are pretty useless, right? They don't track back themselves. They don't cover that well themselves. It's down to you as a player. And I always say that you want to make sure that you've covered the most dangerous passes first before you start, trying to press and predict the next pass and all that sort of stuff. So this is a very this can be kind of took in two ways, because if he reads this and the guy does play the pass across here, he intercepts the ball and he wins the ball, and we won't be talking about this point. But if he doesn't read it and he presses the ball, what he does is he actually leaves these men open and free to find, which is exactly what happens. He presses with Neymar and he goes in and then goes, have that space. Now you imagine if he just switched to Kante, move that Kante up a second before, then switch to Neymar and then put the pressure on the ball holder and try to predict the next pass. So then he finds the Bruno Fernandes, and even though there is a swarm of players there, he finds a pass into the Mbappe. R9, being R9, makes that killer run in behind, and then he finds the back of the net. Such a minor mistake in a sense. Well, as I said, it's one of them. Sometimes this would work really well for him, but sometimes it wouldn't. So you can just see he picks the ball up, lays it into the Mbappe. R9 makes it run. He doesn't even press the LB button to send the R9 on a run. Finishes that at the near post to put himself 1-0 up. So moving on to the next point, we are going to see an equalizer come straight away from the kickoff. And this is the thing this year that you can actually do quite well. You want to try and bypass the two centre mids as much as you possibly can. If you can find a pass, whether you go out wide and then into your strikers, or whether you go straight from your midfielders to your strikers, if you can take these two guys out of the game and get onto this defensive line with your attackers, you are in for a very, very good opportunity, which is what happens here. A straightforward pass, he switches to the centre-back, and now, even though he defends the 1-2, he's still in a very difficult situation to defend because he's Neymar versus Varane. We all know the step overs, the bridge. These guys can do the the skill move cancels with the Elastico, the La Coqueta, and so on. It's something that is very difficult for him to defend here. He doesn't go for the ball out wide. He sticks with the Varane and sticks with the Neymar. Goes for the drag back, and this is why I talk about it. It's a little bit of bad defending from the particular player in Paris because he commits slightly, and we'll go back to that in a second. He then runs in forward and then finds a Cruyff, and then Cruyff pops that one into the back of the net. So a very good chance, and as I said, so effective to beat those midfielders because those midfielders don't track back well enough this year or mark well enough this year. It's down to you to try and find that pass. Whether you go out wide and then into the middle, or whether you go straight forward from the midfielders is completely your choice. Now, the little step over, what I should be thinking here, if this was, say, me defending this, and obviously, these guys are much better than me, but one thing still to take into account is that you've got to look at this and go, where's the gap? Where's the space, right? He tries to commit in thinking that he might take a touch. He might lay the ball out to Rashford here. Now, if he lays the ball out to Rashford, that's not really... It's not too much of a deal, and you'll see this throughout plenty of examples in this game. The fullback will defend well enough, as long as he does, obviously. Him trying to commit with a Varane to predict that, what that then does is it moves Varane from what is a good position. He's in a set position here because he's covering this gap that's there. If he goes for a drag back, he goes for any skill move, Varane's there to defend it. The CMs are just kind of standing still, watching by. But as soon as he commits forward and goes round like that, then that drag back comes through. Now this space can be attacked by the Neymar. If Varane stayed put here and just said, you want to run that way, that's fine. You want to go back, whatever you want to do, I'll just switch to Mendy and Mendy can deal with it. Varane gets caught out. Now, look at Varane. This is something obviously I talk about in all the videos that we've put out on the YouTube channel so far this year. Keeping your defenders in that back four position as much as you possibly can will give you the best possible chance to defend scenarios. Soon as the centre-back comes flying out, soon as the full-back comes flying out, soon as your back four doesn't become a back four and it becomes a misshaped back four, at the minute it looks like that. That's not good. You want it to be constantly looking like, that as a solid sort of line. Now Walker has to come over. He's then caught in, in a difficult situation. Cruyff finds the ball, pops it in the back of the net, and that makes the game 1-1. So now the opponent in the white does manage to get the ball back. Tavernier comes driving forward. Now this is something that I talk to you guys about all the time, that you need to add into your game if you haven't already. He taps the LB button and he sends his winger on a run and he just looks for a simple through ball down the line. Tiny mistake from Paris in the red with his fullback. You'll just see in a second how he switches to Mendy to try and cover the pass, but then brings the Mendy up. So watch here, right? He switches to the Mendy and he steps up. If he didn't step up there and he trapped back, or maybe if he didn't even switch and actually stuck with that Mbappe, he would have been in an okay position to press that Tavernier, because he probably wouldn't have looked for the pass because the Mendy would have been with the Rashford. But because Mendy's now come up, remember what we said about keeping the shape, he then goes for that through ball. Through ball maybe could have been intercepted by the Mbappe, but that's where you've got an attacker with low interceptions, trying to press the ball. He then gets in, goes for the chip, and that is where the defender comes absolutely up clutch and takes it off the line. Now, taking a look at this opportunity, was the chip the right option? I personally think so. Goalkeeper's rushing out. He doesn't really have the opportunity to ball roll that way. Yes, he could ball roll that way, but ball rolls this year, when you take these heavy touches and whatnot, Rashford, he's got to time it to absolute perfection. He can't really lay it off to anyone. Goalkeepers, when they come rushing out, we all know how strong chips are. So going for that chip necessarily wasn't a bad idea. It's obviously just that Walker's got that pace to rectify the mistake he made with a Mendy and come back and stop that from going in. So then, moving on to our next point, we're going to look at a few things here. And the first one is being the ability to recycle the ball. If the chance isn't on, be willing to go back and keep moving the ball side to side. And also, pulling your centre mids back into position. Look here, if you switch to your fullback here to defend this one-on-one without pulling your Kante back, there's going to be a massive gap and a massive opening here. So he pulls the Kante back, and once he's done that, he then switches and then goes back to Kante to cover those passes. Really, really good. But look at the ability to recycle, not forcing the ball, waiting for the opportunities, coming in here with R9 and then going, no, I'm going to keep that ball away from you. I talk about this a lot. Constantly keeping your player in between the ball and the guy that's trying to come in from behind. That little shove there from R9, keeping him off the ball and just kind of moving it over. Very easy, obviously, to do, just to keep it there. And then managing to work a brilliant opportunity. He's trying to make him play a switch. He's trying to make him make a mistake. He steps up slightly, thinking he goes that way. He then plays that ball into the box, into a lethal position. The ball roll into the scoop turn, just uses, obviously, the right analog stick for the ball roll, and then the scoop turn with the X and A upwards. 5-star skiller, and then goes for the shot across the face of the goal. Now, this is a little bit unfortunate if we keep an eye on this. So this is the controller in the bottom left that you can just see here. He's going to go for a finesse shot, I believe, on his weak foot. Let's have a look. It is Ronaldo, obviously, with a 4-star weak foot. So first of all, goes for the ball roll, followed up by the X and A for the scoop turn. Did he go for the finesse? Yeah, he goes for the finesse. Just unfortunate, really. Van der Sar comes out and, obviously puts the pressure on to close the angle down. And let's just look at this here. I want to see if he held anything else when he did this, or did he do a right? And he's either going to do a right stick flick up that way, or he's going to hold the L2 button to shield, or just push with the left stick. Yeah, so he does hold the L2 ever so slightly as that comes through to try and keep him off the ball, which is what helps him keep, obviously, the possession there. A really, really well-worked chance. Again, not a massive error, but a tiny mistake in the sense that he goes upwards, the little bit of tight dribbling, goes upwards here, and then like that, and just opens up that lane ever so slightly. It's very minor, but a really good chance. Obviously, Maldini kind of getting sold a dream as well. Just unfortunate not to put it out the back of the net. Lovely, lovely little move as well, and a well-worked chance. So then, we are going to see a very, very good opportunity develop for Paris. He manages to defend really well with the Renato Sanchez, waiting for that perfect time to dive in. I talk about this a lot in the videos, where you want to dive in when the opponent takes a big touch with the sprint button, or when they input a skill move and that's your time to go and take the ball. Now here he's got the ball nice and tight. Now he takes a big touch with a sprint button. You can just see player in the red, holding sprint, touches away, so the touch is there. He then goes and steps in. Now, take a look in the bottom right. He does use the R2 and the L2 and does actually press the tackle button to win that. I advise pressing the tackle button when you're 99% sure that you're going to win the ball. This is Tavernier. He's probably not going to be, doing many skill moves. He's just going to try and run past him. So you know that the ball is going to stay in that direction. If it's someone like Neymar, this could be a little bit more risky because he can keep the ball closer to his feet, even while sprinting. He may look for a quick ball roll. And if you press the tackle button, you could be in a little bit of trouble. Someone like Tavernier, you know you can go and win that. Now, when he gets the ball, what does he do? Takes the ball out to the wing. When you're playing out, look for the wing. You don't want to play the ball into the middle, because then if you lose the ball here, they're straight back on you. Out towards the wing is where you want to go. Completely takes everyone else out of the game. He drives forward, gets into a good position, little scoop turn, and then he's going to work the ball in with R9. A lovely first-time fake shot. Now, He goes for the first time fake shot into this way. And by the way, remember, when you are doing the first time fake shot, you have to input your command no later than the halfway mark between the guy that's passing the ball and the guy that's receiving the ball to make sure it executes well. Before you boot it into Rosette days. My only thing here is, did he fake shot the wrong way? Could he have kept it into that right foot to then take that shot? The Mendy does kind of defend that, so maybe that's the right decision. And he then goes for what looks to be a shot at the near post. I can only imagine what's going through the player's mind here is he's predicting him to move the goalkeeper across the face of goal. These guys are at the highest level. They know what is the strongest way to finish, which obviously in most cases is a shot across goal. So he may be predicting him to move the goalkeeper. You could also say it's good from the opponent in the white because he doesn't move the goalkeeper because he anticipates that he may read that and he may go near post. So it's mind games at this level, but a really, really good chance. Really well worked as well. Look how he just keeps the ball away from the opponent, doesn't give him a chance to step in, and then releasing the ball at the last possible minute. The first time fake shot, hitting it into there, and then just goes for the shot. Just mind games is what I'm going to put that one down to. So then, moving on to our next one. One of the things that from just watching this game that I've seen that Paris has done, which is Paris is the guy in the red, that when he gets out into this winger position, he constantly keeps the ball away from the opponent. Like here, he takes that touch, the guy in the white, takes a touch back in towards Paris and just gives him that opportunity to step in. Paris normally, when he's out on these wings, will take a ball roll away here to keep, his player in between the ball and the guy coming in. So he kind of, the opponent loses the ball there to Paris quite easily. And this is where we're going to see another goal in the game. So he works the ball quite well. Again, the ability to recycle and move the ball from side to side, trying to drag his players out of position, trying to make him play a switch. Now, this is one thing that I speak about all the time. If you can pull your centre mids back this year, because obviously they don't track back themselves, if there's not a through ball opportunity for the opponent to play with their attacker, which is exactly what's going to happen here. You can see the R9 making that run. He has to switch to his centre-back to cover this run. They don't cover these through balls well enough this year, but he doesn't. He keeps tracking back with the CM. Cover the run first, and then, go and grab one of these guys to do that. Because then he wouldn't have played that pass if he was covering it. But he doesn't, so then that player switches too late, and then bang, the ball is put in the back of the net. It's easy as that for Paris. Now, one thing I want to take a look at, we're looking at the player in the blue. Does he tap the LB button to send the R9 on a run, or does just R9 make that run by himself? Obviously, R9, fantastic player. These guys are using the LB button pretty much all the time. I'm just looking at the bottom right just to see if he does here. I don't think he does at any point. No, he doesn't, does he? Okay, that's an interesting one, actually. So it's just an R9 type of run. He might have the striker on getting behind, which is why he's made that run by himself. But either way, a good goal to go 2-1 up. This is something that I just want to take note of, that the opponent does that in white quite a lot. And we kind of touched on this already, is how aggressive he is with his centre mids. And like he steps up here, predicting that pass into there, but then completely forgets that he can just go route one up to the strikers. I would be a little bit more concerned about that pass than I necessarily would that. He's trying to be aggressive, right? And that's what he's done since minute 1 in this game. But it's also caught him out quite a few times. So now he's up against the defenders. He's in a very good position to look for the through ball. He carries on running with the CR7. Look how he keeps the ball away from the opponent. Ball rolled up into a scoop turn, then lays that pass. Just unfortunate that that doesn't come through. But I just thought we touched on that as well, just to see how the opponent is a little bit aggressive with those midfield men. So now we are going to see a equalizer for the opponent. Look how he brings the Davies back there, pulling him back. Again, switching to the Bruno Fernandes in just a second. Just obviously try and come over into that area. Now, comes out onto the right-hand side. The bridge is used. A double tap the RB button. Really useful on the top-hand side of the pitch. The ball roll away and then comes back in. I feel a little bit bad for him here in a sense, because he switches over to the Kyle Walker, right? And what he's trying to do, and this is something that I do a lot, he's trying to put the Kyle Walker in the passing lane of that pass. And it's reading the opponent, but it's also, it's something that can just go wrong in many examples. And this is what we're going to see here. He switches, he comes forward, but then Neymar makes that run in behind. He may also think that this Varane is a little bit higher up the pitch, so he might be hoping for the offside, but then it goes for that through ball. He's then caught out in that wrong position, and now this is all about being clinical. He's got nothing else on, right? He could look maybe for like a fake shot stop, hoping that the Kyle Walker, overshoots. He could be looking for a drag back to come back into this and then finesse it far post. The key part here, and I want to rewind this in a second, is if he holds Y, is the keeper comes out, he's just going for the chip. It's so stupid, and it shouldn't really be that popular because, if this was happening in real life, this would be an unbelievable goal, but it's so strong this year that you should go for it. If the keeper comes off their line slightly, Edison just makes a pathetic excuse of a dive, really. I want to see, though, because Edison obviously, does come out, he does come for the crosses. If he's got the keeper on and comes for crosses and sweeper keeper, this would make sense if he doesn't hold wide, or if he just holds wide, then that's the mistake there. So we're looking in the bottom right, and we're just going to see if he does hold that Y button, which he doesn't, which would explain that to probably be either Edison's normal traits, or he's got a sweeper keeper on there. But it's a phenomenal finish, and that makes it 2-2 in the 82nd minute. So a chance to possibly win the game for the opponent in the white. Now you can just see at the last possible minute, Paris does switch to the Varane to cover that run, which is a key part here, right? Because if he doesn't switch now, is when he switches, this through ball goes through. If he sticks with that Kyle Walker for that extra half a second, that through ball goes through, and he probably gets, a very easier chance. But because he switches, Varane's, on his bike, he's running quicker than what he would have been if he waited. Now, good part here is he ball rolls away. Look at this, right? He's not got anything on here. He's obviously got this Kyle Walker, careful of these two men. He stays goal side with his Varane. He uses the R2 and the L2, which is the jockey and the shield, but keeps himself goal side. In my videos a few weeks ago, we spoke about the tram lines, which is keeping your guys in line with, the goal here. If you don't step off that tram line, you'll always be in a good position. If he stepped in a little bit early here, the Elastico may have worked. So he times this to perfection, and then he takes the ball off him at the last possible moment, at the exit of the skill move, which is a time that you want to take the ball from the opponent. We're going to see a goal for Paris. What I want you to pay attention to here is moving the ball side to side and working the opening to the pass into the middle, right? He could have possibly gone for the pass here, Mbappe into R9, but I think he's cautious, and this is keeping an eye on the opponent's cursor of that getting intercepted. So he chooses not to play it. Fair enough. He then works it over. He's making him play a switch between these two, and he's waiting for him to find that pass. That's what he's looking for. He's dribbling with the Fernandez. CM, again, Renato pulled out slightly. He gets onto R9, turns, and this is the perfect chance at the minute to a step over or a bridge. The bridge is the choice that the skill move of what Paris goes for. And why does this work? Because he's currently with Sanchez. He's going to catch him off guard in that player switch with the bridge. He's going to double tap the RB button ×2, R1 on PlayStation ×2. And what that is now going to do is just cause him to glitch out. He goes for it now. As he player switches, Maldini stutters ever so slightly. One thing that I've been told, sorry about my phone, someone just keeps messaging me. One thing that I've been told from doing the bridge, just shoot. It just seems to go in. R9, phenomenal finish. And that's one thing the chat told me over on Facebook. Said, Al, when you do a bridge, just shoot. They just seem to find the back of the net. And that's something that definitely does seem to be true. And this is where the game is going to be put to bed in the 113th minute. Just from a throw-in. A ball comes through to Ronaldo. Ronaldo takes a little touch. Ball roll. Just really, really tight dribbling. A little bit unlucky for the opponent. Actually, I felt like he kind of got a foot in here. With Maldini, as he comes over, does he press anything? He uses second man press. And then comes over and just gets done slightly. He doesn't press the tackle button. I suppose, it's just a little touch, isn't it? But a clinical finish from R9, and then the game will be set as well in the 120th with Robin coming through. Unlucky there from the opponent, and Robin coming through in a little dink. And phenomenal finish. And that's what these guys can do really well. Those quick decisions in the last possible minute. And that makes it 5-2. So quite a tight game. Couple of mistakes from opponent in the white. Obviously with the CMs that we spoke about. But predominantly from both of them. Very, very good. And a back end to end game. It was dominated from Paris. And you'll see from the stats in just a second. He had a lot of chances. 11 shots. 10 on target. 56% possession. Pass accuracy from them both through the roof. Just 3 shots though for Suffolk, which obviously wasn't great. Just needed to try and create some more opportunities. And just to show you as well, it was Pass de Paris that we looked at, who finished 3rd in the world. You guys can go and have a watch that game if you wanted to. So then, if you did enjoy this video, something a little bit different, please do let me know. You can give the video a big thumbs up. Please do subscribe to the channel and let me know who you want us to take a look at next. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching. It's been greatly appreciated, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.